Good afternoon, YouTube. Just doing a refresh on my stream pages, and I believe, yeah, we're live on TradingView. Trying to see what's going on the tube. We should be live. Since I'm pushing a dual stream to both channels, it does say we're live. All right, we're up and running. Welcome back to another session of Chart Mastery with Saber. That's me. In this session, I'm going to cover BTC, I'm going to cover Ether, I'm going to cover Litecoin. I'm also going to dive into indices and some stocks. I made a really ambitious call on Apple a couple weeks ago, and we've seen it playing out. I made a AMD short, and that played out. Think we're at a pivotal phase, right? Today's been real funky. We're like indices sold off, like the futures sold off, but the stocks are going up. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting stream. Possibly some opportunities to buy, opportunities to sell. So stay tuned and smash that like button, all right? Destroy that like button. Cooley, what's up, man? Thanks for saying hi on YouTube. Cooley, you guys on TradingView, say hi. Don't be shy. I'm going to start with BTC. It's kind of the order operations of my standard streams. And, you know, one thing that was really interesting, right, is this massive, based on this last bullish retracement from this last swing low to this last swing high. Let me just move that over so you guys can see. So from this last swing low to this last swing high, all right, we had some really strong wicks at the 61.8. Like, not even really strong wicks. One really massive one, and the close was right at the 50. Now we're seeing a secondary bounce off the 50, right? That, to me, looks promising in terms of maybe a slightly higher high than yesterday's. And some more continuation. Now let's look at like the big picture, right? This is like the immediate picture. And what does the big picture look like? These are the fibs that I've had since before, like laid down on my chart since before we even started these streams, these Chart Mastery streams, right? So you've had these on for months. You've actually had these on since the 64K top the first time around. Now, what's really interesting is 46,964, right? Still holding a support. That's important. In terms of the big picture, if that holds, right, then we could be like forming some kind of bottom here and likely go back up. Now, it's not all good news, right? It's not all good news. Going back into the intermediate picture, like the immediate picture, right? If we're looking for continuations of breakdowns, right, we want to see a 61.8 retracement. So if we go off this last high before pulling back, we did see it on the Coinbase chart, right? 51.77 was the short entry for bearish continuation. Now, I did not have an entry there, which is worrisome for me. So hopefully we get a retest of it. We might be seeing something similar, right? It's nice to have a hedge in these cases where, like, we could be bear flagging, right? We could be having a bear flag. And if this is a bear flag and this is going to break down again, right, that 51.77 was the sweet spot, right? That red line. You always want to trade the 61.8 when it's there. I think I missed it because I was wanting a much larger one, right? And, like, we have to bear in mind that on these moves, these smaller continuation moves, the chart is trading the smaller continuations, just like what we saw in the previous correction earlier this year, right? So that's what's another thing that's also promising is the 50s holding. Like we got below it and it pulled back up. So I don't have like direction for certain, but based on the long-term chart, right, I would worry once 46,964 starts breaking down, right? That would be like a hard stop to go in a fiat mode. All right, that's all I have for BTC. I could go like even deeper on like a intraday. Anything actionable right now? Did we miss another 61.8? I think we did. All right. Yeah, it was a 786. So I'm gonna go from BTC to indices, and then I'll cover Ether and Litecoin, just because like I announced puts on the S&P yesterday, all right, at the top. So we bought 468 end of week puts, and now we did see the market sell off towards the end. This is ES, right? But then at close, it pumped only to sell back off overnight. This move is really reminding me of the smaller 786 retracement that we saw back here, right? So it could be a bull trap. I did post a thing in Discord saying, hey, if you don't have a hedge but you have a bunch of calls, you need to reconsider how you're exposing yourself to these markets, right? Because we are in volatility mode and we're still slightly corrective, right? So if we look at the S&P, and it won't include that ES wick because this was an after hours. We're below that 786, right? And that's why I said, hey guys, I'm looking to see some kind of local top here at 468, and we're just gonna buy at the money puts for the end of the week, because if this does come back down, we do have some really like interesting gaps. There's one here. This one's kind of filled. Like this one's really interesting, right? This one's really interesting. It was a terrible line, but I mean it's down in the 436 range. So we could see something like that unfold on the S&P. The QQQ is even funkier yesterday. Still is today. It's under the 61.8. So I mean, oh, it's right. It's closing above now. But yesterday it was like stuck at the 61.8 early in the day, and then it went above. It's chopping. So we'll see how this folds out. I don't think it's a bad idea to score some more puts today, or like add to UVXY or VIX, just in case we do get that pullback, right? We did have a really strong rally. Now, incidentally, right, I'm getting a lot of mixed messages. We look at like something like Apple. It's in full-on blow-off mode, or at least it has been in the last few days. Especially since we got in on that long, right? I called out those calls, the Apple calls a couple of days ago, or like last week really. The week of Thanksgiving, I said we're going to shop some out of the money calls because this wedge, it looks like one of those wedges is going to just rage. And we've got 3 months out calls. They're up a couple 100% right now. Yeah, it's like Apple's going up. Meanwhile, AMD's coming down. But like the tech index looks decent, right? We did have a bounce off the minor 61.8 off this last swing on AMD, right? So I think it's a 50-50, right? I'd love to see some of what you guys are looking at, some of y'all stickers, some of y'all's alts, some of y'all's, some like what are you guys are considering buying? What are you guys completely out of? What are you guys thinking? While you gather your thoughts and before you or as you type them in, I'm gonna cover Litecoin and Ether. And probably Link, maybe Luna, some of the plays I'm in. And hopefully I get a lot of charts from you guys too. So let's hop on over to ETHUSD. It's looking, Ether is looking promising. I have a friend that's, I have a house guest, right? I have a house guest, and she was asking like, hey, like, what are you seeing on the charts? What do I do? I said it's definitely like an interesting spot in the market, right? Looking at like the immediate term, is there a 61.8 on ETH? We can short sell. I think this would be the proper swing high for this, and we're above it, right? Which is good. Like that should signal continuation. Even if you go to the last high, I think we should see upwards continuation on ETH because that was the last high and we are above that 61.8. At this point, I would consider like 43.81 as like an SR flip, support resistance flip, and we should see some kind of upwards volatility. And then more interestingly, right, what I was highlighting to my house guest and really good friend is this, right? We did see in 2017 a consolidation period, and once we broke above the blue fib, right? Once you broke above the blue fib at 506, we had a continued rage up high. What is going on? Phone is blowing up. All right. So at this point, I think it was like $5,126 or something, where I would consider ETH being in a full-on rager. Yeah, 51.49, right? I think if you get up to that 51.49 range and you start breaking through like we did back here, then we could really see a hyper-extended run, and it's just based on extensions. So I think the volatility can come soon, right? If we do break above, I mean, we did see the minor 61.8. We do have a major 100% fib right here. So we're in a pivotal phase. If we do see a continuation, I think Ether can really get set, right? But if not, then we're probably back in a corrective phase. What's up, Joe? What's up, Joe? All right, let's look at Litecoin. I did signal some longs. My dudes in Discord, I mean, doing the crush. Show you guys the house of gains. Willie also signaled his entry on Link. A lot of noise in the neighborhood today. All right, this is what's going on in the house of gains. Willie with a 2200%, and that's a 20. It was on 100x. T maxed out row, right? So doing some good crushes. This was some of Vic's play, right? Luna doing some pretty good moves, right? We're not signaling a lot, but we're just trying to get into the things that we think are gonna like rally and rally well and hard. I did signal a range extension entry on Litecoin, right? And it did hold. I think it was off the swing low. Let's do maybe a 720, get us a bigger chart, cleaner wicks. Right, so we got into Litecoin once again at the wick low. Right at that 145 range, right? And now we're at 160. And this looks promising, right? I feel like if theoretically, right, if 160 holds on another test, we should start creeping back up, right? But if that starts to fail and we break 145, then I think like 122 is inevitable. Everything's good, Joe. Everything's good. These markets have kind of been volatile, so we're scoring whatever we can get into on a clean entry and not trying to chase like up candles or down candles, not trying to short low, trying to short high, you know. I'm not trying to FOMO in any direction. So I covered Litecoin, I covered ETH. Let's look at Link, right? I just like looking at the big things that we trade. If you guys don't want to show me charts, then I can't force you to. Link was definitely interesting here. There wasn't quite a 61.8 we can trade, not even a 786. But if we like extend the previous range like we did on Litecoin, we do get a clean entry, right? And sometimes these charts, what they're doing is they're doing a liquidity punch and realistically stopping out the 3 months futures holders at the previous low, right? So that's what these liquidity grabs do. That's why I call them liquidity grabs, because whoever leveraged this at 21, right, in September, thinking, oh, in December we'll be at $100, well, if they just got stomped out. They got wiped, right? And that's kind of why we hedge. I don't know if you guys remember, weeks ago, before this dump started, on this exact candle at the exact top, I was streaming right here. And I said, hey, we need a short Link, we need a short Litecoin, because they were the cleanest 61.8 entrances, right? And if you look at that, based on this fib, retracement off this swing low and this swing high and a retracement back up, now we're seeing resistance at 22.7. So I think the next target for Link, the next signal would come off a close above 22.7, a pivot flip, and then we can consider another upwards move. Interestingly, Link is one of the few tokens that has actually breached the most recent 61.8 and is currently retesting. I don't have it on the right swing high just yet, but I'm about to fix that, right? So it's currently retesting 61.8. So if we see 22 hold and we see a push above the 22.7, right, we get up in that $23, $24 mark, I think Link would get moving. RK Guli, I just covered what I think's gonna happen to Link. I think if Link can stay above 22, it's probably gonna rip, right? Like, you just need to clear these two zones, the 22, 22.7, and then we can get smooth sailing again. But realistically, what you guys have to keep in mind is that just like some of the stocks that I was highlighting in Discord this morning, some of the biggest runs in the markets are going to come after these liquidity grabs, right? Like we see a range, and then so we see a range develop. You guys can see that, and you see a fake breakout, and we see bam, liquidity grab. What does that do? It takes out the people that were in the bottom of that range, and then the chart rallies, right? I'm not trying to be like super optimistic, But realistically, if we're not buying low, if we're not buying these liquidity grabs in the market, why are we even in markets? The plan is to buy low and sell high, and relatively speaking, that was probably, it wasn't quite the lowest. We haven't really had a ranging run in length other than the April move, right? But in retrospect, look at this big run, right? Look at one of the biggest runs in link history from like 3 cents, from 30 cents to $5. What happened before that run, right? A liquidity grab. So buying low, buying these liquidity, what does that do? It's like people want to buy the breakout thinking they're breakout traders, right? Thinking, oh, it's a breakout, I'm going to keep making money on the upside. And that's why I shorted Link and Litecoin, because a lot of these breakouts fail, right? And yeah, you want to buy the fake breakouts to the bottom side. Okay, I'm sorry for ranting. Okay, Guli, that's my perspective. When we see dumps like this, I think the smart thing to do, if one didn't short, the smart thing to do is like buy the dip. All right, let's look XRP and ADA. We haven't really had an exit pump out of Link, right? We really haven't. And I'd want to see some kind of exit pump. XRP, USD. Oh, we got some. Barbara, thank you for the shows. I'm gonna look at your VOA. VNA, VOA. Is that the right ticker? That's the only VOA I'm getting. This one's tricky. I'm gonna start by extending this bottom range. Man, I wish you told me about this ticker before the dump, because look at that, 47 held up like a champ, right? And now we're seeing support at 54. What's important is what's happening between the lines, right? We're able to read between the lines, and that's when the bearish retracement moves come in. So let's before even fibbing it, this looks like a down continuation, right? So I'd want to see, before this continues up, I want to see 50.5 break up, price close about 50.5, and then get it sending, right? Until that happens, I would assume this is in bearish continuation. And I'm just gonna try to highlight a move that was just like that previously, right? We had a trend. If my chart's getting too convoluted, you can't catch up, just say something, right? We had a trend and we had a trend break, and if we go off the breakout continuation, right? Breakouts also happen on the downside. So we had a breakout from here of this trend, right? And then we had a pull back into the breakout. What happened at the red line? Broke back down, retested it again, broke back down, right? So based on this next breakout, right, this was a swing low, it formed the next swing high, and now we're seeing continuation down. So I'd like to see 50.5 before looking upwards. All right, FYI. Ooh, okay. I guess you did want to check out some stocks. It's Resources Limited. I'm gonna extend this bottom range for starters. I think there's a little more downside in this as of now because the 26 has been unrung. One thing we could do is draw a retracement here, and we're not at an extension a retracement level. I think there's more downside. I think 26 is likely, or 0.26 is likely. Yeah. I'll check Matic. I'm just gonna go through the order of what was showed to me. So I'm gonna look over SKL, and then I'll get to your charts as we go. Thank you all for the suggestions. If I'm covering your charts, drop me a like, smash that like button. I'm thanking you for your chart show. So thank me back with a like. It really helps us on Facebook. On YouTube and on the trading view platform, right? Alright, so I'm not a fan of this because it's like sub 786, right? In terms of really big picture. If this is doing like a range liquidity move like Litecoin did and like Link did, maybe 0.17 holds. Not a fan of this chart, right? Like there's also not a lot of data for me to extrapolate from, and there's not even a low swing high that I can extend from previously. Maybe something like this I could. Bam, now we have an answer, right? Now we kind of have an answer. We have a little more direction. The more pivots we have, we can extend and retrace. The further back they go, the more clarity we can get on a topic. Yeah, I'm not a super fan of this. I don't know anything about the project, so apologies. No opinion. I'm staying out of trading. You're welcome for my link insight. Let's look at the cripple. XRP USD T. I think Bittrex has the most data. Yes. It looks like a pennant's trying to form, right? I mean, I was looking at the 2017, 2018 Ether parallel, right? I mean, here we saw a really freaking wicked bull pennant, right? And it just raged. Well, now you see it, right? Now you see it. It just raged out from there. Are we seeing something similar unfold, right? I mean, support's holding. Support's holding. Where do we want to interact with this chart? Do we want to wait for it to kiss that trend line again? Or do we want to... We're above the smallest 61.8. That's good. That's optimistic, right? Unless we're trading this swing, which might be the next breakdown. I think with something like Ripple, I'd want to wait for a test of that trend line again, right? I mean, I think that was the... Boss Hog, thanks for the coins, man. Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you for your support, and thank you for coming in, tuning in. Thanks, brother. We really appreciate it. I think an entry on Ripple was over here at 73, right? Like that's just there's no other way to look at this chart than the cleanest, tightest stop loss entry was right there. So I'd wait for like another return of the trend line or some other pullback. I don't like buying like these up candles after an up move, especially when we look at the stock market and indices are looking like they're going to dump, but stocks are still squeezing up and getting some shorts out. So market can go 50-50. You want to buy support. You always want to buy low and sell high, guys, right? You don't want to buy these up candles and get wrecked. Like we look at some SHIB examples. Every time we shorted SHIB, every time I mentioned the SHIB short on the stream, it was when everybody was hopeful that we're going to go higher, right? And we shorted 77, right? And we shorted this next 61.8, right? We shorted 65, right? And once again, we shorted another one of these. We shorted this one, right? And every single time I would short it, it's because I would look on my Instagram. People were like, oh, we're going back up. And it's like, no, it's a bull trap, right? So you don't want to long these bull traps. You want to buy low. And I don't even have a long position in this one. I don't care to long it, but all right. Let's look at ADA. Man, more trouble for ADA. I remember a few months ago, I was asked to cover ADA, and I said I would wait till it dumps. All right, and it's basically dumped. Can we dump lower? Sure. Are we going to? I don't know. The mainnet launch, that's the thing. Anytime there's a mainnet launch with some staking, right, the idea is, hey, let's stake for mainnet, right? I don't remember when the mainnet was. I think it was November, right? And then right before mainnet, what happens? They unload. Whoever, like, got everybody, they unload, right? And now We're seeing 133 hold. I did try a couple of longs on ADA and I got stopped. And I said, you know what? Screw this chart. I'm done playing with it. I'm done like paying tuition to interact with this chart. Till I find something clean. Yeah. Now, what's going on in terms of last swing low, last swing high? It looks like below is 786, which is not optimal. I'm going to take this swing low. It's actually holding this 786, right? 1.385. I mean, if you get a strong bounce here, maybe we'll see another up move. Maybe. We still haven't seen a 61.8. We saw a 50% of this last move, and it also looks like it's bear flagging, like what BTC is possibly doing. I'm not calling it a bear flag yet, but potentially it could be, and that's not very good outcome for bulls. All right, let's check out Matic. I'm only going to cover BTC pairs. I'm going to check out Matic, then I'm going to cover Luna and Algo, and then some more stocks. I want to cover Visa and PayPal. I think Zero Knowledge Proof from our Discord came in the stream a couple weeks ago and hey, check out Visa and check out PayPal, right? And I checked them both out and I said, hey, when they hit these levels, I'm going to buy calls, and they're freaking running right now. It's doing good. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to cover Matic. I'm going to cover Luna and Algo, and then I'll cover some of my tickers, and then I'll get back to y'all's tickers. And if you don't have any, I'm probably going to call the streams, call it a day. Matic looks good. Wow, dude, man, this looks awesome. I don't see any reason for this to not keep going up. Solid. Right? Like, I'm not a fan of what goes up must keep going up, but I even have my bubble fibs on this thing. What? Okay, I think you can go on another run on Matic, unless it's doing something like Luna. But it looks promising, man. I would. Yeah, this looks bullish. This is the most bullish looking chart other than Apple that I've seen today. Targets. Like, how would I treat this? Would I want a FOMO in here? Probably not. If somebody's in a position and they're already like enjoying the benefits of that position, good for you. I think 3.3, 3.4, 3.5. Even last pullback, last correction, Matic started mooning, right? So it's proven to be a good and a forgotten about hedge, right? I don't know why it's doing that, but it's acting that way. Sometimes it doesn't need to make sense. It just does. That's how the market works. All right. We cover Luna USD. This has been another like top gainer, and we are in Luna longs. We're breaking above that 70 again today. I did post a thing yesterday saying, hey, if you don't get above 70. 71.96, $72, right? What's going to happen? We're going to top off here. So we're going to desperately need that break above 71.96, $72, right? To get our upwards continuation. Until then, keep trailing those stop losses. We got in at 43, right? On leverage, last signal was right here, right? So your stop should at least be at 47, and another stop should at least be at you want to hide. When I say trail your stops, you want to move them below some of these swing lows, right? So there's a swing low here, and this is a daily chart. You can just see those wicks. If you go to a 4-hour, it'll be a little clearer. I mean, you want to have a partial stop. At least I want to have a partial stop of 49. I want to have another partial stop, especially if it's still in here from 43, right? I want to have another partial stop at 59. Another partial stop at 64. They don't have to be 20%. They can be 10, 5, 15. Yeah, Ghoulie, all these sessions are recorded, so you can literally like click on. Here, I'll show you how to get there. So we go to Trading View, and if you click on Community, or if you just click on our profile, and you click on Streams. Yeah, man, I'm keep flooding the Streams page on my own thing. So yes, everything is recorded. All right. So, ideally, We want to see a close above 71, 72, and then upwards continuation. All right. I'm gonna cover algo. Algo is one of the ones where like I'm still bullish on, but it keeps giving me the not so friendly treatment, right? PM 20. I am from another planet. From another planet. I'm stuck here on Earth. I was asking TradingView chat where I'm from. Alright, so looking at something like Algo, it's still reminding me of the parallel that we saw on Theta earlier this year. Thank you, RK Ghoulie, man. Yeah, I feel like these streams are my way to give back and like provide perspective. I'll check ETH for you, PM. I already did check ETH, but we can look at it again. If you like rewind back, I think it was I covered BTC, SPY, QQQ, and like the fourth thing I did was Ether. But so this still reminds me of the construct that we saw on Theta before it really went flying. So I mean, I did tell the guys in Discord when we broke above 182, I said, hey, if you're FOMOing into this long, right, which that long did get stopped out, I said, make sure you have enough capital to keep fighting, right? You don't want to overblow your capital chasing longs above these fibs when we know that we could also have a battle that we need to fight at 1.57, right? And I told Marshall that, right? 10K Club Barista in Discord. I remember telling him that, and sure enough, we had to fight again at 157. So I'd like to see 1.822 before we get up, and if we break below 157, like this trade's over. All right, ETHUSD. I was pretty optimistic on ETH. I was really optimistic on ETH. I think the line, there's two lines in the sand, right? And we're currently above one and right below the other. Come on, get rid of this line. Right? So I think Ether, you need to stay above 43.20, right? I'm tempted to like longer retest of 43.20 if we get it. Right, it would basically be longing a micro sell-off and not buying an up candle. I can justify that because what? Because if we get a move above, if we stay above 43.20, if that's smaller 61.8, and then we can get above 44.17, I think we can have the big one, right? I think we can have the big one. We'd be like doing something like this, right? We can have the big run at least to 51.49, and then we'll see what happens there. Now, if we do get like an extension of from fib zone to fib zone, I'm not gonna go over these levels just yet. If we get some of these moves unfold, right, and we ping pong, I think just like keep longing that swing low of what that move would be, which would be right here, but we need to see that 51.58. I think the fact that we're seeing consolidation before then tells me that we might shoot straight through that 51 range if we do break up, but we do need to desperately stay above that red line. I did say I was gonna cover a couple of stocks, right? Visa bouncing nicely, right? And Visa sold off on some news, and that's why I tell everybody you can't trade news and you can't trade rhetoric, right? By the time the news is out, guess what? What you have is zero edge. Everybody has the same exact information, right? And that's why I don't trade news. Visa's looking good. I'm in 210 calls that expire end of the month December, and I bought them when we were on 193, right? That was the 50% of this last swing low to swing high. And ideally we wanted 61.8, but we did see a lot of other bounces off 50. And I think there was also like a range extension down here. Not quite. Was it this one? Yeah. All right. And it was also like a range liquidity move at 193 too. So now, you know, this is, if you double click that, nope, not this. If you double click my alert, I think it says stop out. Well, it should say stop out. That would be a stop on my trade, because then I know we go into 179. Is that a bull flag on Ether, the hourly? Maybe, right? It looks like it. It looks like it. I don't really trust these bull flags, man. That's why I'd want to like maybe long that retest, right? Because I think that's gonna be very critical. That's why I set that alert, right? So, it could be a bull flag on the hourly, but what you're looking at and labeling as a bull flag, right, which I see it, somebody else is looking at the bigger picture. And guess what they're saying? They're saying, no, it's a bear flag, right? And that's why I tend to like, well, not quite a bear flag, right? It's a broadening pattern, right? And broadening patterns, usually they go, if it's broadening, descending, it breaks up. If it's broadening, ascending, it breaks down, right? So that's why I don't really like look at these types of formations anymore. Because what looks like a bull flag could be part of a bigger bear flag, right? Which could also be part of a descending, and then somebody else comes in with this more zoomed out view. It says, no, it's a descending, broadening wedge, right? At least it looks like it. And now, so yeah, that's why I tend to like not really. And somebody else can say, no, that's a broadening top, right? So I mean, that's why I don't look at these anymore. I mainly just trade off fibs. All right, there's Visa, PayPal doing something interesting too, right? And it's like now they're more crypto exposed. I'm looking for my target to hit, and then I can get out of this one, and I'm also trading it to 201. And I think this was a very similar play to Visa. Yeah, like you guys gotta get in on these fib trades, or at least learn how to do them, especially if you're watching my stream. So this was a below the 50, right? But if we extend that range, 183 holding was my entry, or like my there we go. That was one of my bottoms that we had, right? And I signaled this twice, and then we signaled the first time, and I said, hey, we're gonna extend this. We're gonna extend this play, right? So that was a good entry play. We did check Matic. Let me check Adam. All right, guys, I'm gonna check Adam, and if you guys don't have any more requests, I'm gonna wrap up this stream and then get back into Discord. I want to thank you all for actually really giving me a lot of your energy and tuning in and showing me your tickers. Really thank you all for showing me all your tickers, because the more engaged you guys are, the more charts we can cover, and the more perspective we get on the market, the more charts we cover, right? So it's like a three-way street. There's benefits to everyone, right? Look at something like Adam. I think it's lacking. I think it'd go to 19. I think it could, unless we're doing some kind of like bullish retracement. We're at a 50. Oh no, we're at a 61.8. Look at that, right? Just like I said, hey, like along Visa at the 50%, and just like I said, BTC turned to 61.8. If you get rid of the last fib, what are we seeing here? A 61.8, hold at 21. So, in terms of like bullish retracements from this swing low on this last move, we could see a continuation of it. I'd be optimistic on something like Adam, but I would also do a hard stop like 21.11, right? You don't want to like raw dog a chart all the way up. All right, Boss Hog, let me check on your Neo. And I've never really been a Neo fan, just like realistically from Day one, I had an old business partner that was like a neo maximalist. I think the clean and cheap was at 24.5, right? Man, you guys should all attend my Fib workshop. You would have bought these dips with confidence on whatever chart you wanted to buy the dip on. What's going on? What's going on now, right? Like, this is the weekly. Do I see a cup and a handle? I see what you're talking about, right? I see your cup and handle. I see the cup, which is right here. And I see your handle, which is right here. So it's a valid observation, right? I think it's more valid than the micro bull flag we saw on ETH. But realistically, the first level of bear defense where like bears are really gonna pile in and test this formation is 32.67. Damakaram. Dummet karam. I mean, I can read Arabic. I just don't. Is that like? Are you going for Persian? I did. Octavia, I covered your charts earlier. Everybody on the YouTube, man, thank you guys for all your love, all your shows. Hey Joe, can you read this? Is this what Joe's on? Somebody typed some Arabic characters. I can read them, but that's not making any sense. Maybe I'm just not in the right mindset. Anyway, this looks like a bearish 50%, right? And until we get the move above 32, I think that's where it's going to be tested. Way to throw me off over there, PM20. All right, fam bam. Thank you all for tuning into the stream. I'm going to be back on the stream same time on Friday. Until then, I'll be in Discord. Bam. So I was right on point with Payam. I said, hey, these are Arabic characters, but I think it's Persian that you're trying to say. That's what you're trying to type at me. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Find your way to Discord. If you find your way to the stream, you can probably find your way to Discord. And if not, then I'll catch you guys Friday, same time. Bring your friend next time, especially if you enjoyed the stream. Smash that like button and trade safe. Thank you. Oh, thanks for that.